ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्त सिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Just give me a moment. So we saw the 419th shloka yesterday. Samsiddhasya phalam tu etat jivan muktasya yoginah bahirantas sadananda rasaswadanam atmani. The phala is being mentioned. What is the final phala which is expected? Purushartha siddhi, samsiddhi, which is moksha. So samsiddhasya phalam tu etat jivan muktasya yoginah, of a jivan mukta. For a jivan mukta, what is the phala? Bahirantas sadananda rasaswadanam atmani. Antakarana. Atmani is in antakarana. He has, whether the mind goes inward, remains inward, or goes outward, he has ananda rasa. Sada always has nityananda rasa is there. That is the final phala of jivan mukti. Because entire pursuit is avoidance of dukkha and acquiring sukha. But sukha cannot really be acquired. Nitya sukha cannot be acquired. What you acquire is a glimpse of that sukha by negation of kama or resolution of kama when the desired object is acquired. So there is a bhranti that we associate our own swarupa sukha to the vishaya, and we say I acquired the vishaya, therefore I got sukha, but really it is acquisition of this object vishaya took away the kama for that vishaya, and thereby not having kama in the antakarana, there was sukha vritti in the antakarana, which is just a reflection of your own swarupa. And since the jivan mukta has no vasana, because jivan mukta is one who has vasana kshaya, thereby what will be in the antakarana, atmani antakarani? There will be ananda rasaswadam, rasa aswadanam. That was the 419th shloka. 420th introduction says, Tatra sakshat paramparaya va sadhananam vishishya phale vijñāte. Once you know the vishishya phala, sakshat paramparaya va, either you know the phala directly or through vishishya phale vijñāte paramparaya. In sequence, if it is mentioned, once it is known, then what will happen? He says, Purnata mumukshunam prayatnena tatra adhatum shakyate. Then the mumukshu will be completely committed. That is why each of the works in the sampradaya has the anubandha chatushtaya. Anubadhnati iti anubandha. The anubandha chatushtaya is that which binds all of these four together. Chatushtaya. There is an adhikari, there is a vishaya, but what is important? Phala is important. Then sambandha as to how the adhikari is connected to the phala, how the vishaya is connected to the phala, how the work whichever is being studied, how is that connected to the phala, how will it give the result that I want, then only the adhikari will be interested in that vishaya, in that work also. Thereby, in the beginning itself phala is mentioned, but if it is mentioned sakshat or paramparaya, even in sequence, that in stages, you acquire this, you will not get the final result, but you will get this result which will be a stepping stone to the final result, and there another, then another, then another, and so on. If in sequence also, if you are going to get the end result, the sadhaka, mumukshu, will be completely engaged in that. Prayatnena tatra adhatum shakyate. It is mukshuna, purnata mukshuna prayatnena tatra adhatum shakyate. This is the idea there as to why the phala is being mentioned here directly as well as in sequence. Now in sequence the phala is going to be mentioned here. So the mumukshu can not only engage, but finally he can immerse himself in that. This is the idea there with adhatum shakyate. Tadartham vairagya bodha uparatinam kramena phalam darshayati vairagyaseti. Therefore now paramparaya phala is being mentioned, because we understand that there is sadhana chatushte sampatti needed. In that, this shamadamadi shatkam is also needed, but what is exactly the phala of each, how it will lead me to moksha, that is being mentioned here, so that one can even measure, so to say measure, one's progress. One should know the progress as to whether or not one is progressing. What is lacking, that should be filled up. What is more should be given up. What is holding a person back should be given up. Thereby, vairagyasya phalam bodha, bodhasya uparatif phalam, swananda anubhava shantir eshai uparatif phalam. So vairagya, detachment. What is the result of vairagya? Vairagyasya phalam bodha. Bodha is knowledge. Viveka driven vairagya will finally lead to jnana, bodha. So this bodhasya uparati phalam, jnana, bodha is there, it is that bodha is here not the complete aikya jnana. Here, that why that viveka was important. See, first this viveka is there and then vairagya will come in, but then we'll see more in the tika, because in the end vairagya and param sukasya janakam pashyami vashyatmanaha will be quoted, which was mentioned earlier in shloka 377. So vairagya is the final trigger to get into the journey, to make more sense out of it. Even jnana being there, vairagya not being there will not generate that sukha. So vairagyasya phalam bodha, that knowledge, what is that knowledge? Which will lead to uparati. Therefore uparati is the phalam of bodha. It can be taken as jnana also. Finally it is not that it is digital. The journey is not digital unless you are an uttama adhikari. It will always be, gradual increase in vairagya and the depth of knowledge. It will be gradual. It's not a sudden event in time. It is not that. Thereby, bodhasya uparatihi phalam. Uparatihi, nyasa is the phala of bodha. Then, swananda anubhavat. Swananda anubhavat shantihi esha eva uparate phalam. What is the phala of uparati? So vairagya leads to bodha, bodha leads to uparati. Uparati, what does uparati lead to? Swananda anubhavat shanti eva esha. Esha shanti. Finally shanti is the result, which is moksha rupa shanti. That is the phala of uparati via swananda anubhava. Rasaswada, which was rasaswada, which was mentioned there, not that rasaswada which is kind of warned about by Bhagwan Gaudapadacharya. He says that this rasa aswadanam, which blocks that final samadhi, even before you are going into samadhi, there is some rasaswada. You can even take that in Savikalpaka Samadhi there is some sukha. That rasaswada will be there in that also. If you start tasting it, then that will also, present an obstacle to Nirvikalpaka Samadhi. So you should not fall for it. Thereby, this Swanandanubhava is not that. Ananda is one's own Ananda. It is not that Samadhi Ananda which is in the Savikalpaka Samadhi, whereby one is going to that Samadhi only for getting the taste of that Ananda. It is not that. One should know that Nirvikalpaka Samadhi via this Jnana of Aikya is the goal, whereby I don't need, my focus is not Ananda, my focus is Moksha, which is that Parama Shanti. But Ananda is a side effect of that, because what else will be there? Your blissful nature will reflect as happiness which is experienced in the Antakarana. And you have seen earlier also, Bhagavan Vyakhyanakara said that others also feel that you are happy when they look at you. The Jnani. Vyakhyana, Vimukti Saudhagra Taladhirohanam Tabhyam Vina Nantarena Siddhyati iti Katitam. In 375th shloka. 375th shloka, yeah, just let me look up whether the quotation is right there. Tabhya, yeah. So Vimukti, he's quoted the second half of the shloka, 375th shloka. He says that this Vimukti Saudhagra Taladi Rohanam, with a comparison of a bird, what was said, that the bird keeps on flying upward in front of a multi-storied building, and it can't see what is beyond. It keeps on flying with lot of effort. It takes itself higher and higher, but then when it crosses the final rung, floor, then it can see across. So you need each. You can't say that I'll go to the last floor. You have to climb. So the bird has to fly. It cannot just say that somehow I'll go to the top floor without actually taking the effort of flying above each and every floor. Or take another example of climbing the rungs of the ladder. You cannot say that I will go to the final rung of the ladder without climbing the earlier. So that is the expression there. Tabhyam vina na antarena siddhyati. It is not possible without actually going through all the stages. If not in this life, in earlier life, you should have gone through. And we can't just assume that we have gone through in the earlier life. Even if you have gone through in the earlier life, let's say that you are convinced, still you try this, your journey will be very fast. You try to go through each and every, try to acquire Vairagya. If you have acquired it in the earlier life, it will be sudden. You can go to the next step. Bodha will be immediate. If the Bodha is immediate, then Uparati, automatically everything will get dropped off. You will not say that, okay, should I give this up? There will be no doubt as to whether I have to hold on to something or drop it. It will be dropped off automatically, which we saw yesterday. Even Sringeri Mahaswamiji says that. Jagadguru says that we don't need to say that it will happen. The Bodha will lead to Nyasa. Uparati has a meaning of Nyasa here. And then we'll see more. Of course, we'll see more in the Vyakhyana. Generally, in Shamadhi Shatkam, Uparati is taken as Nyasa. So, iti kathitam, that is said in this 375th shloka. Therefore, one has to go through all these stages, and then the final result will be gained. I have a slight headache, so that's why I'm sounding a little dull and I'm repeating myself. I'm stuttering a little, so please excuse that. Vairagyanna param sukasya janakam pashyami vashyatmanah tachet shuddha taratma bodha sahitam swarajya samrajya dhuk. Vairagyatna param sukasya janakam pashyami. I don't see anything superior, I don't see anything else also other than Vairagya to generate sukha. This is what has been analyzed in the Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmananda Valli, In the Brahmananda Valli, in Taittiriya Brahmananda Valli, you see the gradations. Ananda Mimamsa is done. One who has Vairagya towards the object of experience in a particular upadhi, then that person at the same level of upadhi gets sukha which is 100-fold of that upadhi, which is possible in the next upadhi, in which one can experience 100-fold sukha of which is possible to be attained in this upadhi. One attains 100-fold of that, which is possible only in the next upadhi, and so on till one goes to the stage of Pitru, Devatas and all that, and finally Hiranyagarbha or Brahma Sukha. So all of this is what? It is showing that Vairagya is what results in Sukha. So Vairagyatna Param Sukhasya Janakam Pashyami Vashyatmanaha, for one who has a say over his Antakarana. Otherwise it's a fall. Tat Chet, if that is Shuddha Taratma Bodha Sahitam, just Vairagya will not do. Vairagya will give you Sukha, but then Vairagya is Agantuka. Even if it is not Agantuka, this, as long as you forcibly or with Viveka control yourself, still you do not know what the next Janma is going to be. Let's say a person is a Vairagi throughout the Janma and Sukha is manifest to him, still he cannot say that in next Janma I will have the same attitude. Some other karma will come together as prarabdha and give some kind of sharira. We don't even know whether it is going to be human sharira. Even if it is human birth, still that Vairagya will continue in the same measure cannot be guaranteed. So that Sukha will be Anitya. If not in this Janma, definitely in another Janma there is a possibility that Sukha will not manifest. Therefore, that definition of moksha is Ananda, which is Nityananda. And Nityananda cannot be attained by Mohakshaya. Vyutpatti also is not Mohakshaya moksha. It seems a person who does not know Sanskrit says Mohakshaya moksha. Sounds very good, you know, a person is able to make sense of the word. It is not making sense of the word. Mohakshaya and moksha, if you put together, moha and kshaya put together, you don't get the word moksha. Vyutpatti artha is not there. It sounds meaningful, it is not, says the Vyakhyanakara here. Here he quotes that shloka where he has elaborated that. In 377th shloka, he has said that Vairagyatna Param Sukhasya Janakam Pashyami, but Tached Buddhatara Atma Bodha Sahitam. If it is with Stira Jnana of Aikya, then Swarajya Samrajya Dhuk. There that Dhuk, Upapada Tatpurusha, went with the earlier Dvandva. Swarajya and Samrajya. Dogdhi. Swarajyancha Samrajyam cha Dogdhi iti Swarajya Samrajya Dhuk. He will have Swarajya as well as Samrajya. This person will be free and he will have a say over everything. So Swarat as well as Samrat. This is what this person will become. That is Nityatvam there. Iticha, it was quoted, it was said. So this is 428th shloka. Those who have joined recently, 428th shloka, Vyakhyana we are looking at. Just begun that Vyakhyana. Tena mokshe tayoho samataya hetutvam yo pratiyate yadyapi etadvaram ajasram mukti yuvatehe ityasti tathapi sarvatra asprahaya sadatmani kuru prajñam nijashreyase iti uttararde api vairagya bodhayo hetu madbhava spashtam na pratiyate. Tena mokshe, so in mokshe tayoho samataya hetutvam yo pratiyate. They are contributing equally. This is what it appears to be towards moksha. And in 377 shloka, after 375, 377th, in that it was seen. 377 shloka is again quoted there that Vairagyasya Param Sukhasya Janakam na pashyami. In 377, it is Uttararde. He says Uttararde api. What is that? तेन मोक्षे तयोः समतया हेतुत्वे प्रत्यय यद्यपि एतद् द्वारम् अजस्र मुक्तियुवतेः इत्यस्ति. This is the pathway. Vairagya and Jnana is the pathway to that Nitya Sukha finally. Ajasra Mukti, that Mukti without any hurdles. Nitya Mukti. Still, even then, सर्वत्र अस्पृहा सदात्मनि कुरु प्रज्ञां निजश्रेयसे इति उत्तरार्धे अपि वैराग्यबोधे हेतुहेतुमद्भावः स्पष्टं न प्रतीयते. Since both are the reason for moksha has been made clear, still interdependency between the two is not clear. Between vairagya and this bodha, hetuhetumadbhava is not seen clearly there in 377 shloka. Tatah sputayati. Therefore, in 420th shloka, Bhagavad Padacharya thought that okay, that hetuhetumadbhava is not seen there. What will lead to bodha? Vairagya will lead to bodha. So that is not clear. That's why he has mentioned this shloka again here. तथा स्फुटयति यद्यपि विवेक वैराग्य समाधि षट्क मुमुक्षुत्व रूप ब्रह्म विचार साधन मध्ये वैराग्यम उपरतिश्च घटकीकृते अथापि तेषां साधनानाम् अंतरंगत्वात् विचार काले सामान्यतः वर्तमानानाम् अपि श्रवण मनन रूप ज्ञान साधनानुष्ठानेन उत्तमत्वं संभवेत्. It's a long tika. I am going to give bhavartha here on. We have seen most of this, so hint should be sufficient there. I'll try at least to give bhavartha. Tatha sputayati, he clears that yadyapi viveka vairagya samadhi shatka, all the sadhana chatushtaya mumukshutva rupa brahma vichara sadhana madhye, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti and even the brahma vichara, in brahma vichara shravana manana nidhyasana, which leads to moksha finally, vairagyam uparatischa ghataki krute, it has been clarified that vairagya and uparati has been talked about there. अथापि still तेषां साधनानाम् अंतरंगत्वात् विचार काले सामान्यतः वर्तमानानामपि श्रवण मनन रूप साधन ज्ञान श्रवण मनन रूप ज्ञान साधनानुष्ठान उत्तमत्वं संभवेत्. Even then he says that this antaranga sadhana and bahiranga sadhana, thereby what happens is that even if it is made clear there that uparati vairagyam uparatischa ghatakīkrute athapi tesham sadhanānām madhye, among those sadhanas, not among those sadhanas, there the sadhanas being antaranga, they are antaranga because vichara kale, they are, you have to acquire sadhana chatushta sampatti, but vichara kale samanyatah vartamanānām api shravana manana rupa jnana sadhana anusthānena uttamatvam sambhavet. Even during the Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, this should not be given up. You cannot give up the earlier acquired sampatti. Sampatti should be retained. People think that, okay, I have got the sadhana chaturtha sampatti, I don't need to go back. But what is being said is that uttamatvam in that, because gradations of jnani are talked about earlier. That gradations of jnani is possible even with the same jnana. Jnana is not different, but sthirata in jnana is different. Thereby jnani is graded there. So with Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, to acquire Shravana Manana Nididhyasana and to have depth in Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, depth being the Nishtha there, finally resulting in Nishtha, the practice of the earlier sadhana should be there. So that is the meaning there. And further he says, Ata eva bahyanalambanam vrittehe esho pratiruttama ityuktam. And therefore, the definition of uparati was given and then said that this uparati is uttama, nyasa is needed. Bahyanalambanam, vrittehe bahyanalam, that vritti which is within should not have dependency outward. That is nyasa. Uparatihi. And that nyasa itself later during the Shravana Kala it will be interpreted as sannyasa with a sampurvaka nyasa. That is the uparati finally. Uparati should be interpreted as nyasa which will lead to sannyasa. Vichara dashayam nididhyasanam antara. during vichara, nididhyasana, other than nididhyasana, nishtha should be practiced. Viparita bhavanaya anivrittehe bahyanalambatvam durghatam. This dependency on outward is but natural. Paranchi khani vyatranat swayambhu. Swayambhu has made, Swayambhu, Ishvara, Brahma. The creator has made the indriyas go outward. This is but natural, naisargika. Naisargikoyan loka vyavaharaha, says Bhagwan Bhashyakara in Adhyasa Bhashya. This vyavahara of considering oneself as an individual and then having outer pravritti is but natural. So bahya analambatvam, how is it possible? So nididhyasanam antara, vichara dashayam, during vichara, that nididhyasana, see, manana cannot be separated out. Manana phala is there. Manana stage is said to be complete when one has no doubts. But viparita bhavana is there. Tendencies are there which will take you back to that you are a limited being. You have to do vichara and then come back to nididhyasana. During nididhyasana also, manana has an overlap. Therefore, nididhyasana mantara viparita bhavanaya anivrittehe. Without that viparita bhavana going away, you cannot have bahya analambatvam. You cannot have non-dependency on the outward. The outside world will still exist and will not only the world. If not the world, at least the bahya sharira is there. Sharira is bahya actually. We consider it as our own. So there the dependency on the sharira and others will not go away. Durghata, it is difficult without viparita bhavana going away. So individuality has to be dropped, that viparita bhavana. So it's a continuous effort, and all these athapi shabdadi vishayanalambatvena vrittihi vicharam sadhayati iti vaktavyam. And even if this is understood, shabdadi vishaya analambanattvena, without the dependency on the shabdadi, shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha, without depending on them, vrittihi vicharam sadhayati, without them, this vichara also is possible only when you don't follow shabda rupa rasa gandha. Sense organs have also to be dropped. That seems inward, but it is not inward, that is also outward. During vichara kala, you have to drop off association with the shabda sparsha rupa rasa gandha. There is no real guided meditation. This guided meditation is only to guide you to meditation. There is no guided meditation. If the guide is talking throughout the meditation, shabda you are always hearing. How can you do meditation? It is not possible. There is ekavritti is there. Guide will tell you that you have to hold on to ekavritti, so he will bring you back. Once you are trained, the dhyana is possible only when it becomes taila dharavat. It will not be taila dharavat if you are listening to the shabda. So that guided meditation should not be meditation through guidance and guidance alone being meditation. Guidance is not meditation. Guidance is only to get you into that meditative state, so to say, for lack of better word. So vicharam sadheti vyakti, manana is also not possible. If you are when you are doing manana and then you are just landing on the tattva, then the guide talks something, then you get disturbed really. One may not say, Acharya is guiding, you cannot say. But once you know how to do that, you can drop off from the guided. Guiding is only a trigger to that. Once you land on that, then you have to hold on to that nishtha. How long will you keep on being guided? Of course, if you need to be guided, you should take that guidance. But if you do not need that guidance, you can land on it. If the guidance has helped, then you should stay there. During the nishtha kala, you cannot do shravana. Does not go together. Manana goes together. Manana goes together. Once that overlap is also resolved, you will land on nishtha on your own, because there is no other. At that point, at nididhyasana, you don't do nididhyasana along with the acharya. Along with the guru, in a group you are doing nididhyasana. There is no group meditation. That is all yoga process. And that is also not really meditation. Yogasana, pranayama, all this is possible. When you land on nididhyasana stage, where we are at 420th shloka, there you cannot have this, the shravana there. Shravana should be continuous, all right, but not during nishtha kala. You are practicing nididhyasana, that time you are doing shravana, does not go well. Anyway, that's an aside here. Athapi shabdadi vishaya analambanattvena vrittihi vicharam sadhayati iti vaktavya. Manana also will not be possible unless you withdraw from shabdadi. So shabda I took cue from, and I just mentioned that. I recalled somebody had asked me to do guided meditation. I did it, but then it does not work well for me. It does not work for them either. So it's good for some, but then especially in some works when we are studying that, I prefer that I don't do these meditation and stuff like that. Idanim tu panchakosha nisheda purassaram nididhyasanena swanubhave sampadite anatma vishayakatvam asankochena vaktum shakyate. Idanim, now, to panchakosha nisheda purassaram, by negating all the panchakoshas, which will also have indriyas included, which will trigger the shabdadi vishayas, all these have gone away, and being preceded by this kind of a negation, cognitive, nididhyasanena swanubhave sampadite, through nididhyasana, swanubhava has to be acquired, and once you have acquired that, anatma vishayakatvam asankochena vaktum shakyate. Everything being anatma except for that which you have had anubhava of. Anubhava is not objective experience. It is not objectifying the subject. Subject who stands without objectification, that is anubhava. I am what I am without the kosha, anatma. Therefore, I can know now that what is anatma. Everything other than me which can be objectified is not me. Asankocha, without any sankocha, without any not only a doubt, but even there is no space for that doubt. Thereby ataha bodhasya uparati phalam iti uchyate. Therefore this bodha will lead to uparatihi has been mentioned, because anatma, everything that you know now through swanubhava is not you. Then why do you associate with it? Thereby uparati, meaning nyasa, can be talked about. That is the phala. It need not be talked about. It will automatically result in that. Once you know, anatma can be talked about. Once you talk about anatma, nyasa is automatic. Ataha shamadhi shatka madhye shamaphala damaphalattvena katitayaha api uparatehe uttamatva siddhyanantaram eva swalakshe niyatavastha manas shama uchyate. In the 23rd shloka, he is gathering all that which has gone by. In the 23rd shloka, what was said? Swalakshe niyatavastha. Continuously staying in that lakshya which is swa. I am the lakshya. I am the goal. In that manas shama uchyate. Mind staying there in oneself is called as shama. Shama will also culminate in that finally. As a result of shama and dama, what was said? Uparatehe katitaya api uparatehe uttamatva siddhyanantaram eva. Once uparati is firm, earlier we had seen in the long back, a year back, we had seen when we are looking at these beginning shlokas, we had seen there is interdependency among the samadhi shatkam also. So this is all trivial now as to what is dependent on which. We should try to acquire everything in good measure. We need not say, okay, I have dhamma, I don't need shama. I have uparati, I don't need this. Uparati will fall apart if you do not have shama. So they grow upon each other. This is what is being asserted here. Iti lakshita shamaha shanti padena. That shama itself has been brought back here as shanti. So shama is in the beginning, dhamma is in the beginning, uparati is later, uparati is the phala of all that. No, but that shama which is shanti is the phala of this uparati. Shanti rupa shamaha, nyasa rupa uparati, all this has to be understood, that the same sadhana chatushtaya will graduate to you to moksha. They have to be reinterpreted at this stage, iti, or reinterpreted or understood correctly. They should be taken all the way to their depth of the meaning. Iti lakshita shama shanti padena swanandanubhavat shanti esha eva uparate phalam iti uktam. Therefore uparati phala is said to be shama, shanti rupa shama. पूर्वं प्रयत्नेन आप्तवाक्यादिना सम्पादितानामपि साधनानां विचारेण प्रकृष्यमाणत्वात् असंकुचित लक्षणवत्वं संभवति इति भावः. So what was attained, what was understood earlier through aptavakya, Acharya is teaching, you understand. So aptavakyadina, through aptavakya and our self study, through discussion, through other co-brahmacharis, sah-brahmacharis, you study, and then you understand, oh, this is what sadhana chaturthi sampatti is, this is what samadhi shatka is. But all this is theory, really. You have some practice and then that's about it. There is no dridha understanding, that complete commitment is not there. Even if they have been attained, sadhananam sampadyanam aptavakyadina sampaditanam api sadhananam, you do it because Acharya tells you unto whom you have shraddha. You believe what he says is right, so you do it. You are yourself not convinced, you are not, it is not vichara siddha for you. Why should I do it? It is not anubhava siddha for you. Shraddha is there, which is good, but then finally that shraddha should be such that you don't need to depend on shraddha anymore. Shraddha has done its role. Sadhananam vicharena prakrushyamanatvat. So through vichara it is siddha now. Prakrishya, it is completely clear to you now that shraddha which you had is right and it has led to this phala. Prakrushyamanatvat asankuchita lakshanavatvam sambhavati. So if someone asks you, you have blind faith, you should be able to explain. It is not blind faith. It can be blind, but you start there. You can help others to start there because you say that with that shraddha I have landed on this, and you can explain each and everything now. How this shama has led to this journey and how this uparati has led to shanti. Because it is anubhava siddha to you. You can yourself assert it without depending on some quotation anymore. You are convinced beyond any doubt. Tathacha, in 20th and 25th shloka, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Ityevam Rupo Vinischayah Soyam Nityanitya Vastu Viveka Samudakrutaha. So Nitya Nitya Vastu Viveka has been defined there. What is that? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Hey, I already know this. One may say, Jagan, we have studied all this. No, we have studied all this, but now it is Anubhava Siddha to you. Because in this shloka, what were we talking about? Swanandanubhavat shantihi. That anubhava is leading to shanti. That this swanandanubhava, swa-ananda anubhava is there. Swananda anubhava is there, and due to that, asankuchita lakshanavatvam. This, all that has been said earlier, now there is no sankocha possible regarding that. You are trying to recall, oh, this is what I had studied and with shraddha I followed all that, how it has given me this beautiful result of shanti. This is what was needed, and now I am completely convinced because now I anubhava. All that can be dropped, but it cannot be dropped by saying all that is bogus. We say that all that is valid because that is what has led me here. Pujya Swami used to say that, if he used to say big if, of course. He used to say that to drive home a point, we should not focus on that if, whatever he said with if. He used to say, if I were to be born again, I will change nothing in my life. In my past, I'll change nothing because all that put together has led me here. Thereby, whatever we have studied, we cannot drop that. All that study was valid. That has brought us here. Therefore, he is recalling all this to keep that Shraddha in the tradition valid as well. Keep it going. Iti lakshita vivekaha purvam. That viveka also, what was talked about earlier, we say what? Just viveka, discrimination between right and wrong, dharma, adharma, atma, anatma, jada and this chidvastu. So this kind of a general discussion and list is given of some pairs. Now, what is the lakshita viveka? What was indicated there? Iti lakshita viveka purvam paroksha jnana rupaha. Earlier it was only paroksha. Somebody said something, Shruti said something, all that. Vicharat paschat, after manana, paschat aparokshatvam prapnoti. It is very clear to you. This is anubhava, your own anubhava. What is mithya? What is this sad vastu is clear to you. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is clear because Brahma is Atma now. Not Brahma Satyam as Brahma, something which is the creator of this prapancha. Aparokshayatya jnatam. Anubhava siddham. That is Satya. Jagan is Mithya. Thereby vicharat paschat aparokshatvam prapnoti. Evam vairagyamapi utkada vishechha bhavarupam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate iti Gita vachanat swarupananda sakshatkare visheshu vasananamapi rago na tishtati iti vasanatmana api rago na tishtati iti asankuchitam bhavati. So Gita Acharya says there rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Param drishtva means sakshatkaranantaram drishtva, as if you have seen. It is that pratyakshatvam which is compared with drishtva. As if it is pratyaksha to you, this Atma is pratyaksha to you. Brahma is known as Atmatvena jnatam Brahma. Thereby rasa also, that vasana will also go away. So vasana kshaya is important. Evam vairagya api, that vairagya meaning will be culminating in this aparoksha, which is vasana kshaya anantaram. So vairagya is indicating vasana kshaya there finally. Vairagya, which is utkrushta vairagya, after that vasana kshaya nothing remains. There is no trigger also possible. So vairagya is automatic. Thereby raga api na tishtati. There is no possibility for raga also, because vasana kshaya has happened. Raga is kama, which is generated due to vasana. Vasana kshaya has happened. Thereby raga is not possible. Raga not being possible, and so vigata raga. Vigata raga is vairagya. So vairagya will culminate in that vasana kshaya. That is the reinterpretation or deeper understanding now. So Vishayeshu Swarupananda Sakshatkare. Once Swarupananda Param Drishtva, meaning of Param Drishtva is Swarupananda. It is paraphrased here. Swarupananda Sakshatkara Vishayeshu Vasanatmana api Raga. Raga will not remain even in the form of Vasana. Tasmad Abhyasa Vairagyabhyam Samyak Mano Nirudhya Vichare Kriyamane Bodha Avashyam Bhavi. Thereby that Bodha, which is also the final meaning of that Bodha, is also that Aparokshataya, Aparoksha Chit Sarupa Jnana. Tasmad Abhyasa Vairagya. Through Abhyasa and Vairagya, what will happen? Samyak Manaha Nirudhya, withdrawing the mind completely into Atma. Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Nirudhya is Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Vichare Kriyamane. You resolve the mind into this Atma through Vichara. Then what will happen? Bodha is avashyam bhavi. The chidrupa bodha is avashyam bhavi. Yadi the jyataha vairagya rupa sadhanam na purnamasti iti jnatavyam. Yadi na jataha vairagya rupa sadhanam na purnamasti iti jnatavyam. One should hear that na, there is double negation there. Yadi na jataha bodha yadi na jataha. If bodha is not there, vairagya rupa sadhanam na purnamasti iti jnatavyam. That vairagya rupa sadhana not being complete, this bodha will not be born. You will know by yourself, you know whether I have bodha or not. If you know that you don't have bodha, that chidrupa, finally you don't think that, you think it is possible, but you think that something is lacking. I don't have that sukha. Then vairagya and this is not, vairagya rupa sadhana is not complete. Therefore nothing new has to be brought in. You have to drop off what you have. You can't hold on to everything that you have been doing and still say that the sukha should be there. It will not be there. It has not ever been there for anyone. All these are just quotations in the Shastra as one-off exception to say that finally you have to reach there. Finally to reach there, that you are not disturbed by the society, does not mean that initial stage itself we say, okay, I have attained it. That will not work. It is just paroksha jnana. It is jnana. At most you can become a jnani matra. There sukha is not possible. You cannot say that I want to remain jnani matra and still have this jivan mukti sukha. Not possible. You will get vairagya mukti, you will get videha mukti, but jivan mukti is not possible. That's why the entire work on jivan mukti viveka, as to you have to withdraw. Otherwise, why would sampradaya have this stage called sannyasa at all? Even the earlier stage, why will they have this third stage also? It's not possible. Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and then Sannyasa. Vanaprastha will not have any scope to be talked about by the Shastra if one is not going to gradually withdraw. And Sannyasa finally for that Sthirata of Jnana. In any case, Purnam Nasti iti Jnatavam, Vairagya Rupa Sadhanam, Purnam Nasti iti Jnatavyam, Yadi Bodha na Jataha. Tataha Taddadhyaya Prayatna Karya. Therefore, Prayatna has to be done. You say no karma is there, no karma is there. Every karma is there except for this karma of Prayatna of Abhyasa. Abhyasa Vairagya is lacking. Evam Bodhe Upanishad Janye Atma Sakshatkare Jate असंदिग्ध अविपर्यस्तात्म परोक्ष ज्ञाने वा जाते उपरति तस्य बोधस्य फलम. Now this bodha also leads to uparati. What is that? Once that atma sakshatkara has happened, then asandigdha this aviparya aviparyastatma paroksha jnane va jate uparati tasya bodhasya phalam. Uparati is the result. Nyasa will automatically be there. It's doubtless knowledge. You have no doubts and then staying there. I think this paroksha, atma paroksha jnane va jate. So he is giving va interpretation there. So asandigdha aviparyaha aviparyastatma. So there seems to be a typo there. I don't know what the exact word is. I should check up. But then the general meaning is that asandigdha, and you see aviparyaha, and ta has been added, that tal pratyaya, atma paroksha jnane. But atma paroksha, that is a little questionable there. Va has been there, so we can interpret that paroksha jnana will also lead to this kind of uparati. But aparoksha will really lead to that uparati completely, in complete measure. I'll not go into details. Let's take it for what it is. Jnatva api baihebhya nivritya bhave manasa dridam jnanam na jatam ityevam jneyam. Jnatva api baihebhya nivritya bhave. So without nivritti from the outward, even if you have knowledge, still you have to withdraw. Otherwise, manasa dridam jnanam nivritya manasaha baihebhya nivritya bhave. Jnatva api. Even if you know, the mind should be withdrawn from the outward. From going outward, and it should be retained. Dridham jnanam na jatam ityam jneyam. So paroksha jnana will not become aparoksha, dridha it will not be. Even if you say it is aparoksha, what happens is that one cannot have nishtha. Tatra cha karanam vairagya aparipurtir eva. Why? You don't have vairagya in purna measure. Vairagyam purnam dridha atmanischyascha no ched vidyavatam bheda kova विद्यावतामपि कुतः अनुपरमणम उपरतौ च मनसा स्वानंदानुभवात् शांतिः निष्क्रियात्मनावस्थानम एषा एव फलम उपरते. So he is listing the entire sequence now. Vairagya purna dridha atmanischaya. Vairagya is purna and atmanischaya is dridha. There is no doubt. No ched. Then if that is there, then Vidyavatam bhedah kova. What is the difference between jnanis? See, people have difficulty even this gradations which have been created in Jivan Mukti Viveka. But what is Bhagavan Vyakhyanakara saying? Jnana is same. We cannot say Advaita Jnana is different. What is the difference then between jnanis? Upadhi is different. You can't say Upadhi, he has no association. If he is a jnani, where is the Upadhi? Upadhi bheda is what you see from the perspective of the onlooker. But between jnanis there is a bheda. That bheda is due to what reason? Again you can't bring Upadhi because he does not associate with the Upadhi that we see. Jnana is same. So it has to be that Vairagya. Meaning that Upadhi that you look at is not the Upadhi that he is trying to give up, which comes off automatically, that Viparita Bhavanas, very subtle. All that is lacking. In at different stages they are acquired or they are dropped off. So thereby Vidyavatam bheda kova Vidyavatam api kutaha anuparvanam uparataucha. So this uparati that you talk about, all that च मनसा स्वानंदानुभवात् शांति निष्क्रियात्मनावस्थानम एषा एव फलम उपरतेः, that will be the resultant once every jnani in quotations there, you see there is a difference between them because there is difference in this vasanakshaya. If that is all common, then all of them are at the highest level, which is not different at all. Nishkriyatmana avasthanam, that is the esha eva phalam. Uparate phala is that. Uparati, if everyone has uparati, then there is no difference between them because jnana is common. ज्ञानामृतेन तृप्तस्य कृतकृत्यस्य योगिनः नैवास्ति किंचित् कर्तव्यम् अस्ति चेन्न स तत्त्ववित् इत्युक्तेः. And this has been quoted earlier also, very beautiful shloka. ज्ञानामृतेन तृप्तस्य, one who is tripta due to jnanamrita, amrita of jnana has made you tripta, then for that kind of a yogi who is kritakritya now, he has nothing to do now, he is kritakritya, whatever is krityam has been done by him, kritaha. Whatever is kritya has been krita, has been done, as though, because there is nothing to do, all pursuit is for this ananda, he has attained that ananda rupa atma and he does not need to do anything. Naiva asti kinchit kartavyam, he has nothing to be done. Therefore that uparatehe phalam is nishkriyatmana avasthanam, he has nothing to do, and once he has nothing to do, that nyasa is complete, then what is its phala? Nishkriyatmana avasthanam, he can stay in that. Nishkriya, he has to remain as that. Swarupa is nishkriya and he'll land there because naiva asti kinchit kartavyam, nothing has to be done. Asti chet, if there is something to be done, then na sa tattvavit, as clear as that. If someone has something to be done, no, this has to be done, he is not a tattvavit, he is not a tattvavetta, he is not a jnani, says this shloka. Yadi uttarottara purvapurvam tu nishphalam evam tattad drushya phala nishpatti paryantam tattad sadhana na purnam bhavati iti jnane prayatnah sadhakena sushtu kartum shakyate iti sadhana purnatayai samupanyasah. So this, all this has been mentioned here because with this gradation, what was said in the Sangati also, to gradations of phala, one can land on that. One will have that dhrida commitment to that, and one will know that unless one has that result, the earlier sadhana is not complete. Therefore he is to focus on earlier also, he can't give up. Thereby with this parampara, one knows that what leads to what, one can hold on to the earlier and get that, to get the hold on to the means till the result is completely achieved. So long tika on this 420th. 421st is introduced by saying Brahma Vidyaya phalam nivrittiriti. What is the phala of Brahma Vidya? Nivritti. This is the nivritti, complete nivritti from bondage. Nivritti from bondage is the nivrittiriti, is the beginning of nivrittiriti. Phalamaha, what is the phala of Brahma Vidya? Not nivritti, but nivrittiriti means that it is quoting the 421st beginning. Nivritti paramatruptihi आनंदोनुपमस्वतः दृष्टदुःखेष्वनुद्वेगः विद्यायाः प्रस्तुतं फलम्. What is the prastuta phala? What is presented as phala of vidya, Brahma Vidyayaha? Drishtadukkheshu anudvegaha. Even if there is drishtadukha, drishtadukha is what? Whatever dukkha is there. What is the dukkha? It is all emotion in the mind. Thereby, drishta dukkha, dukkheshu anudvegaha. Drishta dukkheshu anudvega is the phalam. There is no anudvegaha is what? Let me look for a good word. So anudvegaha is, the translator here says regret, absence of regret. So the whatever is there, see the Taittiriya Upanishad also says that on the deathbed a person says that why did I not do this papa karma, why did I do papa karma, why did I not do punya karma. All this is anudvega. So drishta dukkheshu anudvegaha vidya prasu. So there is no udvega, not anudvega, udvega. Udvega is that tapaha, that heat that you feel that, oh, I should have done this, I should have not done this. All that is not there. He is kritakritya. Therefore Brahma Vidya phala will be whatever he has done is okay. Sthane, it is all sthane. That's what brought me here now. The combination of whatever I did. But now I am no longer interested in doing anything, right or wrong is irrelevant here. Brahma Vidya prastutam phala is what? That udvega not being there in drishta dukkha. Whenever dukkha pops, see, dukkha has come due to some papa done earlier. I can't go and change it. And Jnani knows that he has not done it at all. Whoever has done it is having that bhoga. Who has done it? Guna guneshu vartante. The sharira has done some karma. The sharira is getting the phala. I get dragged by that phala because I associate with it. I no longer associate with it because I am Brahmatma. Then I am Brahma. Then thereby I have no association with this emotion at all. So it is drishta. Drishta dukkheshu anudvegaha. So there is no regret here anymore. That is the result of the Brahma Vidya. Nivritti paramatruptihi. This nivritti is paramatruptihi. The cessation from activity is the paramatrupti. That itself is, it's parama. The most superior trupti or most superior satisfaction is that I don't have to do anything. Kritakritya I am. And ananda anupamaha. Anupama is without any comparison. That's why we said bliss, because bliss is something which cannot be experienced. Happiness can be experienced, we start comparing. But this is translated as bliss because we want to say that it is not experienceable at all. Or we keep to ananda. Ananda is better. Bliss also, there may be some misunderstanding because people have misused the word. So ananda anupamaha swataha. It is your own swarupananda, which cannot be compared at all with anything. Nivrittihi sarvebhyaha karyebhyaha nivrittihi nirvyaparatvam kartavyanavasheshata. Nivritti is what? Sarvebhyaha karyebhyaha nivritti. You withdraw from all actions. That nivritti is what? Nirvyaparatvam kartavyanavasheshata. Without anything being left, you don't even feel that you have to do anything more now. Paramatrupti is what? Nirankusha trupti. Untainted satisfaction without any disturbance. You're completely satisfied. No something is left, no nothing is left. Kartavyam kritam praptavyam praptam itah param karaniyam praptavyam va kimapi nasti iti swasya dhanya dhanyataya sukha vishesha swatah anupamah asadrishaha anandah vishaya nirapekshaha. A long sentence, so I'll spread it again. Paramatrupti is nirankusha trupti. Kartavyam kritam praptavyam praptam. Whatever has to be done has been done. Whatever has to be attained has been attained. Itah param karaniyam praptam ya kimapi nasti. After this point in time, after this jnanotpatti, there is nothing to do, nothing to be attained. Iti swasya dhanya dhanyataya. Now he is completely satisfied, and through that sukha vishesha swataha. This sukha vishesha which has not been experienced earlier, because we always had some kama or the other. Thereby that experience of ananda is not objectifying your own swarupa, but that ananda which manifests is more in quantity and quality also, because it is not interrupted by anything to be done or to be attained. Therefore anupama swataha, by itself it is anupama asadrishaha, cannot be compared. Ananda is vishaya nirapeksha, it has no dependency on vishaya. Nitya niratesha sukham, it is that which is nitya, does not go away, and it cannot be transgressed, because you cannot experience beyond this. You cannot go and experience yourself. Prarabdha karmana drishta dukkheshu anudvegaha. So due to prarabdha karma, whatever dukkha is drishta, is experienced there, there is no regret towards that. Let it, prarabdhaya samarpitam swapuhu, I have nothing to do with it, let it suffer, it's okay. I have done that karma, I have to suffer. So that suffering is for the body dissociate. Body, mind, sense complex is suffering. Senses are weakening, there is dukkha due to the body being associated with all the family and friends or whatever enemies earlier. There is dukkha to the body, but I have nothing to do with it. Let it undergo suffering. I try to fix it, I'll get into another set of troubles. Because what is the trouble I am trying to avoid? Bandhana. Bandhana will come again if I try to avoid whatever is coming. You do whatever little is possible and let go. Let it be. Let it suffer, it's okay. Ajnani tu dukkheshu prasakteshu aham papi jingmam duratmanam iti anutapavan bhavati. So etena tapatah, Taittiriya Upanishad says that kimham papam karvam, why did I do papa? All these, they torture the ajnani, but jnani does not think that he is a papi at all. Even when there is dukkha, there was papa done by somebody who came up as mithyatma associated with the sharira. He is no longer there. Ajnani, so ajnani is ajnani. Jnani does not think of oneself as a papi. Yadi api ayam viveka iva bhati tathapi purvasmin janmani chet papa pravritti pratibandhakatvat saprayojano bhavati sma idanim tu nishprayojana iti bhranti tamo vikaraha. That bhranti is a tamo vikara, that this viveka bhati, this looks like a viveka, but what is this really? He says that earlier janmas there was some papa pravritti was there. Now that has presented itself as an obstacle by bringing in dukkha. This dukkha is an occasion for you to do away with the papa that has been acquired. It will cease to be in time. The result is not going to be continuous, it will drop off. But saprayojana bhavati sma, so there is a reason for this papa to have come up, but still idanim to nishprayojana, now it is ineffective. It has nothing to, you have nothing to worry. This is the idea here. Now dukkham tu ragadi nimittavashat rajoguna vikara rupa santapatmika chittavritti iti dukkhodvego yor bhedaha. What is the bheda between dukkha and udvega? He is splitting hairs there as to what is this chittavritti. Both are rajoguna vikara rupa and one is tamo vikara. Dukkham tu ragadi nimittavashat, there is raga, rajoguna vikara rupa raga. Raga is there, and that santapatmika, the santapa which comes about due to this rajoguna vikara, or which is rajoguna vikara itself is santapa, which comes about due to raga etc. That raga etc. is not there for a jnani. So dukkha cannot be there really. Iti dukkha udvegayor bhedaha. Jnaninaha ayam udvega na bhavati iti chatvari phalan nivrittihi dirankusha triptihi asadrishanandaha nirvishaya drishta dukkheshu anudvegascha iti. There are 4 types of results for a jnani. Udvegaha ayam udvega na bhavati, there is no udvega, there is this 4 results now, which is what? Nivrittihi, triptihi, then what has been said here is nivritti, paramatripti, and then ananda and anudvega. These are the 4 results. Vidyayaha atmatattva-jnanasya prastutam mukhyam drishtam phalam. What is the mukhya phala? Atmatattva-jnanasya prastutam mukhyam drishtam phalam. There is an adrishta phala for all the karma that has been done earlier. Here it is pratyaksha. All these are Brahma Vidya phala. This Atma Tattva Jnanasya Prastutam Mukhyam Phalam, Drishtam Phalam. It is what is Drishta Phala is mentioned here in 421st. For the Jnani, these are the 4 results. We'll see the 422nd in the next partha. We'll try to pick up pace. Here the everything was summed up in a long tika, so we spent more time there. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharantam Agocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham. Tat Sat. Any questions? Okay, I'll see you in the next part. Namaste.